So I know this, you guys are planning your big day, and it could be nerve-wracking sometimes. You're trying to figure out what direction to go to. You've never planned a wedding before, hopefully. Right? And so, a lot of times when I meet with brides, or I meet with couples, they have a lot of questions, right? And one of the things that I love to do is do a bridal workshop with them. So this workshop is actually condensed to like 10 to 15 minutes. So if you hired me, you would get a 1 hour one-on-one personal bridal workshop where I will sit down with you and we would go through your whole wedding from ceremony to last dance, okay? So let's get started. All right, your DJ slash entertainer. Now, my segment is really to make your wedding exciting. Your DJ is your entertainer, okay? So while you're out looking for entertainment or a DJ, it's very important that you get an experienced wedding DJ, okay? So I want to give you an example. I started off in a club, right? So, I was used to the club atmosphere, right? And so I remember the first wedding I did, which was like 15 years ago, the bride called me, she said, "Gene, so what music are you going to use for the processional and recessional?" I was like, "What? What's that?" "Gene, are you going to have the microphones for my officiant?" Is that, what's an officiant? Is that a piece of equipment? I don't know, what are you talking about, right? So it's very important that not only with your DJ and your entertainer, but any vendor that you use, you want to make sure that they specialize in doing weddings, okay? So in the DJ industry, I'll tell you, there are tons of DJs. You have mixtape DJs, you have radio DJs, you have club DJs, you have karaoke DJs. I can go on and on. A wedding DJ is different from all those other DJs, okay? Your DJ is going to control the flow of your reception. Okay, it's extremely important that they have the experience in doing that. So you might go to a club and you might hear a DJ play, you're like, "You know what, I like that mix." But that doesn't mean that DJ is qualified to do your wedding, right? So if you think about it, if your wedding is 4 to 5 hours, how much time of that is really music being played or open dancing? It's typically towards the end, maybe like 2 hours, hour and a half of your people dancing. So what's happening between the time the wedding party is introduced and open dancing, okay? So those are the things that you want to consider. Will your DJ MC your wedding celebration, all right? So I started off in a club. I'm like, yo, put your hand up. You can't do that at a wedding, right? How does your DJ sound on the microphone, right? Is he exciting? Is he enjoying what he's doing? And when it comes to emceeing, that's really what a wedding DJ does. He's emceeing your wedding, from wedding introductions to introducing the first dance to father and daughter dance, mother and son dance, last dance, cake cutting. He has to get on the microphone. So what is he going to say? How is he going to say it? How is he going to keep your guests engaged at your wedding? Right? So something else you want to think about. As I talked about, controlling the flow of your reception. This right here is extremely important, right? Because if your DJ is not controlling the flow of your reception, it'll get to the point you'll be like, "Oh, we only have an hour left for dancing," right? So wedding party introductions, right? He has to really, you can imagine coming out of cocktail hour, you have 100, 150 people, trying to get them, your guests, into the reception area, and then you might have a wedding party or a bridal party of, let's say, 10, 15 people. Does he have the names right? Right? Does he know the order that they're coming in? Does he know how to pronounce the names? Okay? And when it comes time for the toast, I'll give you a prime example. If you're doing your toast at 7 o'clock, your DJ can't get on the mic and say, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now for the toast." Well, guess what? We have to pour champagne for 100 people. So you have to let the catering company know, "Listen, we're going to do the toast in half an hour. How long do you need to pour champagne for 100 people?" Right? Has he gone and talked with the best man or the maid of honor and matron of honor and said, "Hey, listen, you're going to be doing a toast in about 10, 15 minutes. Are you ready?" Oh, I forgot my speech. Hold on, I got it. And so if he doesn't control the flow and if he's not communicating with the people that are involved in your wedding. So when it comes time for your best man to give the speech, guess what? Oh, I forgot my script. Hold on, let me run outside. And then we're like, okay, well, we're going to wait for the best man to come back. Now you're playing music. It just messes up the whole flow. So it's very important that your wedding DJ has the experience of controlling the flow of the wedding. All right. Now, will your DJ engage and entertain your guests, which is very important. Okay. This is probably one of the most important things because most weddings are boring. Okay. It's just, you know, it's just the truth. All right. Now, what separates a good wedding from a bad wedding is if your DJ or entertainer is engaging with the audience. So there's several ways that you can do that, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. Go ahead. Thank you. All right, so let's start with the cocktail hour. While you're taking pictures, your guests will be waiting for your arrival to the reception. This part of the wedding is called the cocktail hour. The following are some suggestions to make your cocktail hour exciting. Now, for me, the entertainment starts during cocktail hour. Cocktail hour is really like the pre-game to your wedding, okay? If you have a really good cocktail hour, it's going to set the whole tone for your wedding, all right? So you want to play background music. I always encourage couples to play background music during the ceremony because the worst thing that you could have is 100 people there. Some of them might not even know each other, and it's just dry. No music in the background. People are kind of looking around like, you know, what's going on? That's what you don't want at your wedding. People to be like, okay, where's the bride and groom at? I'm trying to get my heat on, and right? You don't want that, right? What you want them to do is even forget that they're at a wedding. They're having so much fun during cocktail hour, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have to escort everybody in for the reception. Oh yeah, we're at a reception. That's right. Let me get myself situated, right? Bring in a magician. Right? Now, this will create a wow factor, okay? You have a magician come in. He's doing card tricks, walking around different tables, doing different things, engaging with your guests, keeping them entertained, keeping it exciting. All right, rent the photo booth. Photo booths are very, very popular at weddings. We did a wedding on Friday, had a photo booth there. It was the hit of the night, right? Autograph on your engagement photos. Okay, it's another way to get your guests engaged in your wedding. Get your engagement photos done, and Arvin, I'm pretty sure you can provide something like this, right? And so while your guests are socializing with each other, enjoying the cocktail hour, now they're becoming part of your wedding because they're autographing your portrait, okay? And disposable cameras, all right? I love disposable cameras, all right? You put these cameras on the table, or have them ready for cocktail hour and tell your guests take as many pictures as you want. I did a wedding yesterday. During my welcome and introduction, I asked the group, or I asked the guests, how many people are on Instagram? More than half the room raised their hand. So I said, this is what we're gonna do. If you're gonna take pictures on your cell phone, I want you to hashtag Polakowski Wedding 2015. And everybody was doing it. And so while that was happening, now your guests are engaged in your wedding. They're not just there sitting there as spectators on the sideline. They're actually involved in what's going on. Hey, Corey, can you hit the... Oh, thank you, Tina. All right, next, please. All right, the grand entrance. Okay, so this is the beginning of your reception. All right, it's called the grand entrance for a reason. All right, you want this to be exciting. All right, so the grand entrance sets the tone for the reception. Use it to connect with your guests. Make it entertaining, personal, and emotional. Your guests are waiting for this. Okay, so pick music with energy. All right, I mean, you want to come in with a bang. All right, this is the grand entrance. It's important. All right, turn the spotlight on. All right, so in order to, when it comes to the spotlight, right? If this is the type of entrance you want, the venue you pick is very important because you have to have a venue that has the capability of dimming the lights, okay? You may need to get a separate production company to set up the spotlights and the uplights and to have a fog machine come out. But that's something that we provide as well. It depends on how extensive you want to go. When I say create a spotlight, I mean, think about how basketball players into the basketball court. lights come down, music's on, the announcer comes on, right, and they're running out there. You can have the same type of feel for your grand introductions, all right? Create a Soul Train line. I love this. We did this on Friday with a couple, all right? Have your wedding party line up on each side as they are introduced, ending with the two of you dancing down the line. You can even invite your guest to be part of this Soul Train line. It's a really good way to get them involved in your wedding. All right, start a dance contest with the wedding party, right? So you want to get your wedding party involved. You say, listen, we're going to have a contest. I want the person that goes first to outshine the person before them. All right, have everybody do a crazy dance going into the reception area. All right, now personalized biographical introductions. I always do this. All right, to me, if you invited somebody to be your best man or your bridesmaid, right? I want to know who these people are, where they're from, okay? Who are they to you, right? So most DJs, they'll say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for bridesmaid Charlie and groomsman Lucy. Well, who is Charlie? Who is Charlie to you? Is he your friend? Is he your college friend? Is he your best friend? Who's Lucy? Is this your cousin? Is this your sister? Right? Is this your lifetime life support? Who are these people? It's a really good way to get them connected with the guests at your wedding. All right, the toast. All right, the formal toast at your receptions give people closer to you a chance to share words of wisdom and best wishes for your future. Whoever's giving this toast, give them plenty of time to prepare. All right, now some people, most people, have a really hard time giving speeches in front of other people. They get really, really nervous. So you want to give them enough time to prepare and get their speech together. That's why I always go up to the best man, maid of honor, maitre of honor, and I always speak to him. Like, do you need a shot? We can go to the bar right now if you need a shot, you know. Get relaxed. I have to show him how to hold the microphone. I had one guy that was just completely nervous, and he just couldn't do his speech. So what I did was, I took his speech and I broke it down into 4 separate speeches. And I gave all the other groomsmen a part of his speech and ended with him. So it was 5 of them. Each of them said something, and then when it came to him, he felt a little bit more comfortable because everybody went before him and he delivered his speech. All right, so those are some creative things that you can do as well if the person doing the speech is a little nervous. All right, invite someone special to give a blessing for the meal. This could be a relative, officiant, friend, or friend of the family. Now, yesterday, when it came time for the blessing, so one of the things that I do, before I do the wedding party introductions, I'm always going to find out who is doing the welcome and the blessing before I even do the introductions. Because what I don't want to happen is after the wedding party enters, for me to say, okay, who's doing the blessing? Well, I don't know. I didn't pick. Did you pick somebody? No, did you pick? I don't. And so now we're like, oh, okay, you know, well, let's just go into the welcome. If you're not going to bless the food, that's fine. I want to know who's doing the blessing. I want to make sure that they know that they're doing the blessing, right? So this lady yesterday, she didn't even know she was doing the blessing. I was like, you doing the blessing? Your Aunt Juanita? Yes. You doing the blessing? She's like, oh, no, I've been drinking. I can't do it. Okay, well, we got to find somebody else then, right? So it's important that the person that's doing the blessing, you inform them that they're doing that, as well as the person that's doing the welcome. Anybody have a question about that? No? Okay, great. All right, multimedia toast. Anybody that's going to be giving your toast, they can use an audio clip or a video clip. Now, that's something that has to be prepared in advance. Okay, so if they want to do something creative, they can do that as well. Give a welcome message of thanks. Take a moment after a formal toast or cake cutting. Give a welcome message, thank you, and thanking your guests for being a part of your celebration, and encourage them to have fun. So this is really important, right? And the reason why this is important is, typically after the toast or the cake cutting, you want to encourage your guests to have a good time, okay? So you always want to thank your guests. Some couples do it towards the end, but I would recommend it doing after the official toast or after the cake cutting. Pre-recorded toast, right? So I had a couple in March. As I was doing a consultation with them, the groom had mentioned that his uncle was not going to be there. And he has a really close relationship with his uncle, but his uncle he was sick, so he wasn't able to make it. So after the consultation, I contacted the bride. I said, listen, can we get this uncle to leave a message on your answering machine, on your cell phone, right? And the message will be of him giving a toast. Listen, you know, Oscar, I know I wasn't able to be there, but I want to say thank you. And basically a toast. And the groom didn't know anything about it. So what happened was I got this pre-recorded message. Right before the official toast, we played this message, right, from his uncle. And he had no idea, and he broke down in tears, right? And so, you know, these are different ways and different things that you can do to incorporate people in your wedding that can't make it. Maybe somebody lives out the country, you know. You only have 150 people that can come to your wedding, or maybe 100 people. You can't invite everybody, right? You would like to, or mom and dad would like to, right? Or whoever's paying for the wedding would like to, right? So you can still get them incorporated by having them do a pre-recorded toast. The last one is really up to your discretion. You know your guests better than we do, but you can also open it up for other guests to do a toast. You're like, no, not gonna happen. That's a negative. All right, Tina, next. All right, the meal. Okay, so this is kind of lengthy. So I'm gonna try to keep it short as possible. Let me say this about the meal. Most DJs look at the meal as an opportunity for them to chill and to kick back. You know, people are eating. It's not really nothing going on. Negative. Okay, the meal is important. You don't want your guests to feel as if they're on the sideline. You want them to get involved in your wedding. You want them to be a part of your wedding. So we use opportunities to get your guests involved in the meal. First thing, play background music with energy. Now, this is not fist pumping music. We don't want people standing up on the chairs and on the tables. It's not that type of party, okay? But you do want to play music that builds up to open dancing, all right? I've got two other DJs in here, right? And so we will tell you the most difficult thing to do, right, is to try to get your guests on the dance floor after they've been listening to classical music for the ceremony, classical music during cocktail hour, elevator music during dinner, and then we want to try to get everybody up to dance. I mean, it's difficult. So you want to build up the momentum with good background music during dinner. So yesterday I did a wedding. I played Motown during dinner, and unfortunately the guests just got up and just started dancing during dinner. Or I had to throw on some country to kind of get them to sit back down. But it was great because during dinner they were ready to go, right? The kissing game, all right? I like the kissing game. So and you have to really let your MC know that you want to do this. So what we'll do is you would let the DJ and the MC know 3 couples that are going to be there, okay? During dinner, we call the 3 couples up, they get in front of the DJ booth, and we have a kissing competition, okay? And then we let the audience or the guests decide who kissed the best. And the reward is they'll get a couple's night out, or movies, or dinner. So you give a gift certificate for a movie or a gift certificate for a restaurant, right? It's a good way to get them involved and engaged in your wedding. Singing for dinner. So if you have a buffet style type dinner, right? One way to get your guests involved and that's entertaining is have them sing a song to you before they go on the dinner line. Or better yet, you could do couples trivia. So we go around and we ask each table a question about the couple. How long has the couple been dating? The table that gets it right, there you go. You're going to eat next. If they get it wrong, they have to pick the next table for them to get an opportunity to answer the question, right? So and you know how it is. During dinner time, everybody wants to eat. It's kind of boring. This is a good way to get the guests involved and interacting during dinner time for your wedding. All right? So I talked about the buffet line trivia, sing for dinner. All right, we're good. We can go to the next slide. Special dances, all right? Make your first dance personal, meaningful, and emotional, right? Your first dance, you'll remember it forever, right? And a lot of entertainers don't take the time to really focus on this first dance, Okay, it's really the first thing that you and your hubby do together as a married couple. It's like really the first activity. You're introduced and then you do the first dance, right? So you want to make it entertaining, you want to make it meaningful, and you want to make it personal. So you can do bubbles. You can ask your guests to gather around you while you dance. They'll blow bubbles, and this is a great way for them to get involved. And I use this picture here. And it's really good for pictures. Arvin, have you ever done anything like this?
I will next time.
Okay. Now, I'll say yesterday, this is what we did. You can invite them to come up and blow bubbles while you dance, but I recommended to the bride and groom yesterday, since they had a lot of couples there, and you want to, and it's important to be able to meet with your DJ and for your DJ to know this kind of information, okay? So, when I met with the couple, they told me they had a lot of couples. There's going to be like 15 couples. So I made the suggestion, why don't you ask all married couples to join you on the dance floor? While you are doing your first dance, ask all other married couples to get involved with you in your first dance. Very creative, it's different, okay? And it's a great way to get your guests involved in your wedding, okay? And you can also take dance lessons. Oh, fire. No, I'm kidding. Take dance lessons. One way to really shock your guests is, let's say you start off with a slow ballad, or for me, John Legend, right? And then you come in with maybe Bust a Move. What you want? You, right? Your guests will be like, oh, and then you get your wedding party to join you. So you start off with a slow ballad, you switch it to a faster dance, right? And then your wedding party gets on the dance floor and join you. So these are some different suggestions to make your special dance significant. Now, I've got tons of different ideas. Like I said, I'm putting this workshop in a condensed form. Tina, next please. Wedding cake, okay? Once again, this is another part of the wedding that's really kind of like, oh, we're cutting the cake, okay, it's not really nothing going on. No. Every part of your wedding is important, right? So I look at your wedding really like a movie, okay? And in any great movie, you have all these different scenes. Cake cutting is a separate scene in your movie. Wedding party introduction is a scene in your movie. The bride and groom entrance, the first dance, father and daughter dance, mother and son dance. These are all different scenes in your movie, okay? The movie called Your Wedding, all right? So, cake cutting. Have your guests sing to you, all right? So, what you can do is we can print up lyric sheets for a song, okay? Give them out to your guests. And when you go and cut the cake, they're singing to you. And everybody has a sheet in front of them, okay? It's a great way to get everybody involved and interacting in your wedding. And when was the last time you seen that at a wedding? Probably never, right? But this is a really good way. Your guests are not going to forget that, okay? Second thing, if someone is having a birthday or anniversary on your wedding day, okay, why not recognize them? Why not have them join you while you cut the cake, right? And give them a slice after you and your groom cut it, obviously, okay? But it's a good way to get them involved and to recognize the people that have birthday. You can even sing happy birthday. I know this day's about you, okay? So we don't want to take the attention off of you, but if somebody's sacrificing their birthday to be at your wedding because they think so much of you, why not? Why not have everybody sing happy birthday to them and recognize them there, okay? Create an ice cream sundae bar, okay? I did a wedding last year. This was a big hit. They didn't have no cake, no cake. All they had was this, and I've never seen it before. I mean, this ice cream sundae bar had a line, okay? And so, and when it comes to the cake, you don't always have to have a cake. A lot of couples are doing cupcakes now, right? So when it comes to the cake, you want to think about how is your cake going to be served, okay? After you cut it, are they going to take it in the back and then serve it? Are they already going to have slices out there for them? So these are some things to think about when it comes to cake cutting. Next slide, please. Garter and bouquet toss, my favorite. This is what a lot of DJs use to kind of open up the dance floor. All right. right? So present your bouquet to a family or friend that is recently engaged or a couple that has been married for the longest. So some couples opt not to really do a bouquet toss or a garter toss for whatever reason, okay? So, you know, instead of not doing one, you could just present it to someone that was just engaged or a family member, all right? Instead of tossing your bouquet to all single ladies, why not ask all married women to the dance floor to get your bouquet? Now, every time I say this, you know, the brides are like, well, Gene, that really doesn't signify what the bouquet is for. Actually, this is your wedding, and so you want to make it personable. There doesn't have to be anything traditional about your wedding. This is your wedding. The music to your wedding is the soundtrack to your wedding. I had a bride walk down to the theme song of Batman for a ceremony. She was a Batman fanatic. She loved Batman. So she incorporated that in her wedding. So you want to make your wedding personable, and so if the bouquet to you, it can symbolize whatever you want, right? And then it's another twist. So instead of asking single ladies, you ask married ladies to come on and be like, oh my gosh, married ladies, okay, right? Next. Hold on, don't go to the next slide, I'm sorry. Invite all men and women to the dance floor for the garter and bouquet toss, okay? Offer a gift certificate to Victoria's Secrets for the women and one from Best Buy for the men, right? So now you can get your whole wedding involved in this bouquet and garter toss. Not just the single men, not just the single ladies. And so that way you're not leaving anybody out. I have a lot of couples say, Gene, you know what? They're not going to be a lot of single ladies there, so I really don't want to put them in that situation. Or, you know, and when you call men to catch a garter, they have their hands in their pocket. They're not really, so they're not really involved. This is a great way to get them involved. Say, hey, listen, we've got a Best Buy ticket here, right? Or gift certificate for $50 for the one that catches the garter. All right? NFL toss. I love this. After the garter is retrieved, place it on the football. After both of you sign it, okay? So men, you take the garter off. You sign this football, both of you, bride and groom, and you put your wedding date on it. You put the garter on the football. Now the men are not like this. Now they're like, hold up. You know, get in position. So it's a really good way to get more creative and get the men involved in the garter toss. All right. Oh, I love this one too. Attach a $20 bill to the garter with the safety pin before you toss it. So now they're going to want that 20, especially to use it at the bar, right? Next slide. And I just want to end by saying, make your wedding day personal and entertaining.